Just breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. Breathe out through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. And breathe out through your mouth. Okay, now we're going to do another set of 3. But when we're breathing out, we're going to smile, because when we smile, magic happens. Okay, so we're going to breathe in, breathe out, smiling, and breathe in again, and breathe out, smiling again, and breathe in again, and breathe out, smiling again. Very good. So that's the first thing before we start. I just want you to be here and now, enjoying this session. So next thing, we're going to relax our shoulders, because I'm going to teach you how to do the right position for sitting on the piano or keyboard. Okay, so we're going to relax our shoulders with 3, 2, and 1. And then the same thing, forward, 2, and 3. Very good. Excellent. I can't read any of your comments now, so if you have any comments, just leave them for the very last minutes. Okay, Joe? Say hello to the camera.
Hello. I guess I can't.
Okay. So, position. So the very first thing I teach, how to sit on a piano. It's very important that you know from day 1 how to sit on the piano, okay, or the keyboard. It doesn't matter if you don't have a very big fancy piano. If you have a small keyboard, you still need to have a very good position. Why? Because you will have to practice, you will be practicing, and it depends on the position you have. You'll be comfortable or very uncomfortable when you practice. Okay, so first thing, your artist bench. If you don't have an artist bench and you have a normal bench, a seat, whatever you have, it doesn't matter. It needs to be the right height, okay? So my artist bench is adapted to my height, okay? So, and I sit from the middle, okay, forward. From the middle of the high bench forward, right? Artist bench, sorry. Why forward? Because my legs need to be free and my arms need to be free, because I'm going to be moving up and down, okay? At the very beginning, you're only going to be playing around middle C, and I'll explain that in a minute, around the center of the piano at the very beginning. But as you go along, you'll be moving, okay, up and down on the piano. So you need that freedom. If I sit all the way up to my knees, then I'm very tight and I'm not relaxed, okay? So if I'm doing, I'm not relaxed. Whereas if I'm from the middle, forward, okay, I have that freedom to move up and down. So that's the first thing. Next thing, shoulders relaxed. That's why we relax at the beginning. Very relaxed shoulders, okay, and down. And your forearm needs to be making a straight line, okay? So your forearm needs to be straight. When you see that forearm straight, that's when you have the right position and the right height, okay? If I was higher, I would be like this. I'm not going to be comfortable practicing. If I was lower, I can't do that now, I would be like this, and I would be hurting my wrist, probably, okay? So the right height, it's when you have this forearm completely straight, okay? So you need that. And then, fingers. With 10 fingers, 5 on the right, 5 on the left, you know that. But each finger has a number, okay? So sometimes we see some music. Well, I have loads of music books. You won't be able to see it from here. But you see a music book and it has numbers on top of the notes for a piano. And number 1 means this finger, number 2 means this finger, number 3 this one, 4 and 5, okay? Those are your 5 fingers. Same for the left hand. But we need to have a certain position for playing the piano too, with our fingers. And that is, in my case, like if with a mango is inside my hand, because my hands are quite big. So if your hands are smaller, to my kids what I say is like, imagine that you have a lemon or a lime inside your hand. Okay, so that's the position that you need to have. Okay, so same thing for the right hand. Okay, the first hand that we normally teach, I always teach right hand to start with. if we get time today, I'm gonna introduce the left too, but the very first one that we're gonna use is the right hand. Okay. So next thing, we know the right position. Okay. I'm just thinking that it would be nice to have somebody on the call with me to be able to correct the position. You can see it, like a wrong position and a right position, but a wrong position is basically like this, or your back not straight, or your arms higher, you know, so you have to be straight like this. And always smile, because it happens, like magic happens, as I said to you. Next thing, different keys, okay? So I'm aware that you can't really see all my keys, but you see that we have black and white, okay? And I have my keyboard here to show you. So we have different notes. Basically, we have only seven notes. I'm not going to get into sharps and flats and all that. 7 notes, 7 letters, because in the German system, which is the one that we learn here in Ireland and I think the UK too, we call them letters C, D, E, F, G, A, B. And in the French system and Spanish system, which is the one that I originally learned with, we learn do, re, mi, fa, sol, la, ti, but it's the same thing, okay? So how do we get to like differentiate what's what? It's not difficult at all. Why? Because we have groups of 2 and 3 and 2 and 3, and they repeat over and over and over and over. You're not going to have a group of 4. You're not going to have a group of 1. Well, if the piano is about to finish, there might be a key that looks like 1 but belongs to one of the 2 groups. Okay, that sounds confusing, but it's not. Anyway, you have groups of 2, 3, 2, 3, 2, 3. Very first note we're going to learn. Look for the group of 2, okay? And I call them the 2 bunny ears. Now that we're like around Easter time, that's the way I teach it all the time, but it's such a coincidence that I always use that. So the 2 bunny ears, and before the 2 bunny ears, you have C, okay? So that's your very first, like the very first note that I'm going to teach you today. C. Not necessarily this C, but I want you to know that if you find 2 bunny ears wherever in the piano, if it's not a group of 3, the note before the first black note is going to be C, okay? So, as I said to you, we have letters in the system that we teach here in Ireland and the UK. So, first letter, first note is C, and then it goes like the alphabet, right? C, D, E, F, G, and then A and B, okay? So, if this is C, this is D, if we move right, E, F, and G, and A, and B. And then we go again to C, D, E, F, G, A, B. Okay, so we have C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E, F, and so on, right? But the one important thing that you need to know, when we're moving to the right of the keyboard or the piano, we're going high, okay? When we're moving to the left, we're moving low. We have the low notes to the left, high notes to the right, okay? So, very first note, you know C, but that's not the exact first note that I teach. I teach middle C. All the beginner's pieces are written around that area for a reason, okay? And I'm going to teach you that note now. So how do you find middle C between all those black and white notes and everything? If you have a piano, you go to the center of the piano. How do you know which one is the center of the piano? Well, it's normally where the letters are, okay? So that's how I normally teach my students, and they find it quite easy. So you go where the letters are and find the 2 bunny ears close to the letters, and that's middle C, okay? So close to the letters, or some pianos are like very old, which there's no problem with old pianos. I love an old piano. And they have like a key here, which is normally around the center. So you find the 2 bunny ears, and the one before that, that's going to be C, okay? So that's your middle C. As I said to you, if we go to the right, we go high. If we go to the left, we go low, okay? So that's middle, high, higher, and very high, like the high C. And if you go to the left, you go low. That's my lowest C, okay? So as long as you understand that, please give me a heart if you're understanding what I'm saying. Give me a few hearts. I don't get any. I do. I don't. I do. Anyway, I'll keep going. I'll see your hearts. I'll keep going. I hope you're understanding. If you're not, like, you can write a comment there and I'll see it in a few minutes when I stand up. Okay? Okay, you are. Great. So, next thing. Oh, the next thing that we're going to learn is how to play your first short scale. Okay, so we're gonna, oh, thank you for all the hearts. So that means that all of you are understanding. That's amazing. Thanks so much. Well, thanks so much. Like, I'm happy that you're understanding. No, thanks so much. I'm really happy that you're understanding. Next thing, first scale. Okay, what are scales? Sequence of notes, okay? And normally the scales have the name of the first note that we play, okay? So today we're gonna play a short version of the C major scale, okay? Why C major scale? Because it starts with C, basically. So we're gonna go on to middle C, and we're here, right? And we're gonna position our fingers. Oh, okay, now I'm back. It paused for a minute, but I'm back. Just let me know if I am live, because I can't really see. It paused for a minute, but I think it's back now. Let me see. I'm gonna wait for the feedback. Yeah, it is. Now, last thing we're gonna learn today is how to play your very first short scale with your right hand, which is the first hand that we introduce. So if we remember about the position, we're gonna put our back straight, we're gonna smile. We're going to have our forearms straight to make sure that we're on the right place. I am not actually. I'm gonna sit in the very center of my artist bench. Forearms straight, okay? And we're gonna put finger 1 on C, finger 2 on D. I told you we go like the alphabet because we go up. If we go up, we go with the alphabet. If we go down, we go against the alphabet, which is quite confusing at the beginning, but it's not so much like as you practice it, like everything. So C, D, E, F, and G we're gonna play. That's gonna be our very short and simple scale. So we're gonna do C and lift, D and lift, E and lift, F, lift, and G, lift, okay? So when you're practicing this at home, two things. I don't want you to bounce like this. We're not doing that. We're doing like a blended sound. So we're not gonna play the next note until we lift the note before. And we're not gonna move any other finger than the finger that should be playing. So we're gonna do like C, D, E, F, G, and I don't wanna see 2 notes at a time or 3 notes at a time, you know, so you're gonna C, lift, 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 and G. So that's your very first and simple scale that I introduced to my students on the very first lesson. You know, that's how I do it. I introduce the very short scale because then we extend it and do the full C major contrary motion scale and then the C major similar motion. Contrary motion, similar. So that's what we're working towards with that first scale. Okay, so I'm so happy that all of you turned up. I hope that you enjoyed this very first compact, dynamic, and practical session. And I'll see all of you on Thursday. Again here at the same time. Thanks for all the hearts. That's amazing. I hope that you really enjoyed it. Remember your position. Remember that you're going to be uncomfortable if you don't have the right position. Remember that you need to relax, smile, and make the most of every session when you sit on the piano. That's how my students experience it, because making music, it's about having a good time, okay? So have a wonderful afternoon. If you're in Ireland, we have a lovely day. If you're in another country, I hope you're having a good day. And I'll see you soon.